I need to show you.
What?
Yes. So, you know how I started like showing you a whole bunch of toys last time? I feel like I'm just gonna
Yeah,
show you fun shit at the beginning of each episode at this point.
I love that so much for all of us.
Real one, and my son has one. I don't know, but here's where we are.
Yeah.
So I didn't wear it to I didn't wear it to Steel City Con, but
Mm,
I looked over and I was like, oh shit, I should have.
yeah,
But I did buy something at Steel City Con, and I don't know if you saw my social media yet, but if you did, you already
I
know. But
haven't.
oh, look, don't ruin it for yourself.
Okay.
But I just really wanted to start the pod off like and immediately show you like
Welcome to Battleground Appalachia, Rural PA Dems Division. I'm Gillian,
I'm Lindsay.
and we're here to talk about the myths and realities of living and organizing in rural Pennsylvania, give you all the tea on why it's more progressive than you think. Um, I want to
Most of it.
start with this. Shit is so crazy, but a good
It
thing
is.
that happened, not in the United States, obviously. But in Hungary, Viktor Orban lost. Not only did he lose, he conceded. That's the
By
important
such an
part.
overwhelming amount
Right.
that he couldn't do anything to say it wasn't legit.
Right.
That's
Because and
that's
I
what's
don't,
key.
yeah, like I don't have any background in Hungarian, so I'm probably butchering these names, but like the Fidesz party, which is his party, only won like 60 some seats out of the 199 seats, and the Tisha party, which is the not nominally better one, right? Won 128 seats. So,
Well, boom, there it
turns
is.
out when you wreck your fucking economy,
Sorry, that was like a cough gag laugh at the same time.
I know.
Um, but that being said, what I do know though,
Mm,
because Hungary is not my European knowledge base out of like there are countries that I know more about, but I do
yeah,
know that they are one of the weakest NATO countries and have been
yeah,
stymieing like other Western countries being protected basically from Russia by not being able to bring them in as new members. Them in Turkey, they've been kind of
what
like
and one
fucked
of the
up.
things that the incoming guy campaigned on was like reuniting with NATO and like getting straight with the European Union.
Hmm. And
So
that's obviously you
that's
want a
good.
decent economy and you want tourists to be able to attend and come see
Yeah.
you and your country and
Hmm.
not hate it, not want to,
Hmm.
and not be afraid of going there and not having your neighbors hate you and having your your next door neighbors saying, we're not gonna have economic relationships with that country anymore.
Yeah.
Whenever we not have them anymore. We're gonna choose
Seems
not.
like an important thing. I don't know.
Is it?
I
Eh,
guess. Eh,
probably. We'll find
tourism.
out. We'll find out.
Hmm.
But I mean, if we're doing international, so I tried to explain it to somebody who
Yeah.
asked me. Yes, before
Hmm.
I think we should just jump off because I'll probably segue back and like then we can move
Yeah.
it. Let's see. Oh no, was like not just that the best thing about the hungry thing isn't just showing like overwhelming you have to win by frankly overwhelming numbers and then like
Yeah.
but elections can still happen and be fair even in a obviously like dictator-esque type of country, but um also that Hungary is not a strong European country because of that. And then the best thing really about it is that JD Vance went there and we can make fun of that because that is the icing on the cake. That
JD
is
Vance
like,
is going to be a through line here.
yeah, that it is. It is
Um,
a connector. It is a deep connector to Yeah, like when you send somebody to another country to speak in your stead and
Hmm.
they fucking suck, and then
And they
they
fucking suck. And then
lose
they
worse
lose
than you thought.
miserably, then it makes you look like a dum-dum.
Makes you look like a dum dum, and it makes everyone hate you and makes
Yeah.
you the laughing stock of all the other countries if you think you personally are going to gain political power at like the next
Hmm.
elections.
Yeah. Now, one of my okay, so let's just go there.
Well, that made it
The
on.
Iran war that was supposed to last like a week and definitely not more than 4 weeks is for sure. We're past that now. Um,
I
just a
guess.
couple more weeks, I assume. Um, but so here's the thing, right? And so like despite the fact so that he's really done nothing to show this actually, like and largely through like a couple news sources where it's like, people inside blah blah say that like actually JD Vance is against the war. He hasn't done anything to say that. But I assume that Daddy Trump is pissed and thus sent JD Vance to have the highest level negotiations that we have had with Iran in 55 years.
The guy who sucks at negotiating, and it's my understanding that
Yeah.
uh, not Subway Jared, but
Mm,
real estate, untycoon, daddy federal offenses,
mm.
um, son-in-law was right there with.
I'm sure Kushner was there because
Bet.
yeah, I mean, please. Um, eh, so these negotiations end in now we're blocking the Strait of Hormuz.
So I
Well, actually, we're blocking the idea, and I had to read about this because I was like, what?
El Mendeb,
We're blockading all Iranian ports,
El Mendeb, yep.
be they on in the Strait, in the Persian Gulf, in the Gulf of Oman. No matter, we are blockading Iranian ports from everyone.
Is the full blockade actually in effect,
Not
or is
an,
it
at
like
on
I'm gonna step
Monday on Monday at 10 a.m. allegedly, because everything's alleged. Because of course, on Monday,
are we gonna
the
do taco this time? Just kidding. Because I don't think
yeah,
that
you know,
this is I don't
no,
even
like
think
on
this is
Monday, Donald
taco
Trump said he
Monday.
was going to destroy the whole civilization if they didn't like roll
Right,
over by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, which like they didn't. And in fact, we didn't even get to 8 p.m. on Tuesday before he rolled over.
right. And then Israel is like, just kidding, Lebanon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so, um, this is, I think, so the Houthis already like attacked a vessel though,
Yeah.
and in this El Mendeb, and like El Mendeb like moves way more than just like the Strait of Hormuz, like national, like international trade, but also national regular trade is so insanely severely affected. Like I've heard up to like 30% of our fertilizer is unpurchased and sitting. And we are looking at a legitimate food crisis in the United States, let alone Western Europe. Um, like well before the elections this
Yeah.
year, like we will possibly be, and I've also seen so like people are like, oh, the oil's not that bad right now. Like the futures right now is not matching like the price for oil right now to
Yeah.
buy liquid natural gas. And so, like, I don't know. Fun fact about Lindsay, not just an ex-Republican, but her dad used to
Mhm.
be the Eastern Continental manager of Halliburton.
Mm.
So, and
Yeah.
like not the godfather of, but like the god stepson of probably fracking, which probably would make Everyone hate me except for the fact that my dad himself has the follicular B cell lymphoma. Um, so kind of coming back to him, you know?
Sure,
But
yeah.
the karma in it all. But really the thing is I was raised very much in the oil and gas, whatever, like
Yeah.
whatever. So the price per um barrel, it could logically, when the futures reach what the price is to actually have it, because the closure of the Deb and other things, we're looking at China buying from us, which is going to drastically increase our costs for everyday people. And it could be anywhere between
Great.
150 to $200 a barrel instead of the current like 100, 106. And tonight's futures,
Meanwhile,
they open, but
also,
they
can I
open.
just add in, since you mentioned China, I hear they're sending missiles to Iran.
So, as a great perfect segue, do we recall why the United States entered World War II?
It was Pearl Harbor.
It was Pearl Harbor was the perfect excuse in which for
Well,
FDR,
yes,
pretty
yes.
much, yes. But why did they, why did Japan attack Pearl Harbor? Because they needed to hurt the Navy. Why? Because of the oil embargo of 1941.
Yeah, there it
Stop
is.
us from having a blockade.
Everything comes back to oil eventually.
Or everything comes back to us having a Navy that attempts a blockade. And then, but at this point, then Western Europe
Yeah.
would be against us, or they just, we call them, they don't know us.
Yeah.
I don't know her, like
They're
decline
like,
call.
"Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar. Bye.
Like,
New phone, who dis?"
yeah, I don't know her.
I
Straight up
don't
Mariah Carey
know
it.
her.
I don't know her.
Yes.
Like, then in all like aspects of like the potential like famine and starvation we cause and like leading into like massive economic impacts, like like this is the part where like I go crazy. It's not just what it's going to do to us. It's going to make us the bad guy legitimately to everyone.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, to the extent that we're not
We're
already
already
the
shit.
bad guy.
Yeah, we're already shit and we're already like the cousin nobody talks about. That we're
Hmm.
not like we used to be cool, but like we're not anymore.
We're
We
like,
used to
I
be,
don't, they're like, people whisper, they're like, I don't know what happened to her.
yeah, we used to
I
all go
love
out
her so much, but like,
and bonfire, like we'd go out and smoke weed, like it's
hmm.
cool, but we
But
would
now
like
she's
whatever.
like,
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
I hope she chokes
Now
on
she's
that shit.
into raw milk and shit.
Yeah. Like, now also like
Literally.
like and I, like that, but now it's just like, oh, we don't actually like we're not gonna outright probably help you
Hmm.
enemies, but like we're also gonna just like there's gonna be a big whole fuck ton of Switzerlands and we are like the bad guy. Not
Yeah.
the fucking bad guy. And so much so that we are now the chopping block of the bad guy, where before it was like the world was like, Israel, what the fuck? Israel, what the fuck? Israel, what the fuck? And also
Yeah.
United States are dumb. No, now it's like United States, you're the
Yeah.
fucking problem.
Yeah.
And some other countries have nukes and so do we. And so like we're a big problem. And that's us.
Yeah.
And you can't undo that.
It's
And
us.
also publicly, we can't get our friends back either. We basically fucked all their boyfriends in front of them.
We definitely fucked all their boyfriends.
The
And
for this, it's gonna be just, but that's how I feel about like the United States right now. Like that is like because we have an old fucking man that no one can decide to get rid of. And I was like thinking to myself on my car ride to getting groceries. I was like, so I know our military is civilian led, and I know like we are not a C word type of military.
uh-huh.
Has to have been rooms where the C word was brought up, like the COUP words.
Sure. Yeah.
They had to have been at least floated by some. Because I know plenty of people have quit and retired and stuff, but like not just fucking off our allies, which is I guess sort of not fine, but I guess it's any stupid president's prerogative, technically.
Right, but like yeah, no,
This is
it's
this is
like
different.
this is different and you know, it's so fucking stupid.
It is because it's the dumbest people in the world, the people that can't say no to the dumbest fucking asshole in the world.
Yeah.
So that he
It's
could just mess his phone.
painfully stupid. I don't know what happened there. I suddenly my camera went "Roop." And I was like,
Sure.
"Whoa."
Didn't win
Uh,
there. But it's just this is
yeah.
equally just a stupid person, a stupid old man, a stupid old man who hired stupid people, and
Yeah.
that's it. I don't
Hmm.
and but that's what happens when power concentrates this way.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, what happened the last time oil prices were even going to be this high or close? And it was, and inflation went up, and it was like Jimmy Carter was the end of his presidency.
Yeah.
It was the singing into Reagan. So
Which
hey
is
Dems,
why, yeah, which is why Jimmy Carter, you know,
it had nothing to do with him, but
had
he
nothing to
had
do
he
with him. Yeah.
it was the after effects of just like he was president when it happened.
Yeah.
And the
In this particular case, it very much has something to do with the president, which is amazing because, like, normally, right, like when gas prices go up and down, it like genuinely 99 times out of 100 has like jack shit to do with the president.
right,
This time, he's
it
really,
the only time it goes up is on days where you know is a day where he has a fucking trading future immediate effect,
and
and when it screws up, it's legit like when it isn't going to affect his friends.
did did you see that the White House had to send out a memo to all the staff, get off Kalshi?
I did not see that, but
Hmm.
I assume that the
I'm
trading
surprised they
thing
had
is
the
so obvious.
awareness.
I think the trading is so obvious and so illegal that
Yeah.
they know that the snapback and the level of pardons that they can't issue are going to be
Hmm.
so awful for them when
Well,
they are maybe thrown in prison.
yeah,
You're not going to be able to undo it.
it's
I'll go to prison.
absolutely shockingly insane.
Like they'll go to
Um, yeah, it's like
or
go
white collar crime
directly to
might end up like
prison.
France. France
Eh,
prisons, French prisons have never been like the best
yeah,
as far as like Western world prisons, and like
right.
we're having them filled up, because he can't pardon everybody.
Um, yeah, no, I mean like the profiteering is wild. And this is like this is not Kalshi, but this is something I saw earlier. Emil Michael, the Pentagon's undersecretary for research and engineering, sold his private stake in Elon Musk's XAI for between 5 million and 25 million. On January 9th, netting roughly 24 million in profit. He originally disclosed the investment is worth 500,000 to $1 million in March of 2025, representing returns between 400% and 4,800%.
We are past I don't know if everybody knows like what a guillotine is, but like, and I'm not advocating for it, by the way, melee weapon
No,
aside. Because a lot of times
just
people are like, well, she likes violence. Well, no, I'm just
no.
a violent person personally, like that is drawn to it, but no. However, other people are
Mhm.
not me, and other people are going to be very upset. Other people are going to be so
Yeah.
upset very soon that there's no amount of conciliatory or don't be mad
Yeah.
that Democrats can do. And I mean, this is like more meta because I've never really been involved when like politics is shifted this way, but you know, the Democrats, us, we're not that liked. And so like the general public might not give a shit if we try to like calm things down because they might frankly choose to just back candidates that are equally inexperienced or not smart and
Yep.
that have D next to their name or run as an independent, which is like, what isn't that like June? And then they're just going to be hot take expresses and this is it could be it could this pendulum can swing both ways. Like it's the horseshoe theory of the furthest right and the furthest left. There's only
Yeah.
like that much space versus like that much space. There's that much space
Yeah.
between them. And there's the nuanced conversation is going to be lost upon many. They're not going to want to hear it. The people that are
Yeah.
finally going to tune in, they're going to be like, you guys haven't done enough forever.
No, and it's all like the extent to which this the situation with Iran is reaching full global crisis.
Yeah.
Um, Ireland, in the Republic of Ireland, um, I don't believe that this has been fully resolved yet. There were like massive truck convoy blockades of roads because of issues with fuel prices. Now, in this particular case, I do just want to say, like, fam, what do you think your government is going to do about it? Legitimately. I love you. I'm
What
just,
are our options? What are the not our options? What are
yeah,
the because our options are even less. Our options are to get the best Democrats elected as humanly possible.
right.
Be 100% clear about Jillian and Mai's options.
Yeah,
That would be them right here. And also
right.
to
Yeah.
coach Democrats that we've got to
Hmm.
like out where voters are. That's
Yeah.
really important. Something that we do all the time.
Yeah.
But like, and then everyday people, what can they do? Well, there's a nonviolent answer, and that's the one that Jillian and I are going to say to do, which is show up and vote. But like again,
Show
you're
up and
elected
vote.
in a minority.
Hmm.
You can only legally do what the numbers can do, which
Yeah.
means we have to get more Republicans to quit. We need Republicans to lose. We need Republicans to turn.
Yeah.
I wonder how far away and how many mornings certain people wake up every morning and they're like, I'm probably going to lose this election. And it started that way. And now it's like, I'm probably going to lose this election, but I'm probably going to, this could be worse. Like, we're way past like French guillotine era, like, as far as how bad it is, and people haven't realized it yet. Like, West Virginia,
Yeah.
cost of is more than most people's rent or mortgage.
It's like it's crazy. And also,
Ooh.
to make this transition, we're getting out propaganded by Iran with AI Lego memes.
Yes. I want
They're hot, they're fire. They're
we need a can we do a
come on.
5-second pause? Because I'm coming right back. Because I
Okay.
have to read my I'll be right back because this is the best topic on life. I'll be right
Mm,
back. Oh
yes.
my God. I'm gonna die if I don't. Oh my God, I'm so excited. You didn't hear that. Okay. 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 I'm back. So AI
Yes.
Lego. We are being out propaganded by like I think that the article from the BBC today says that this guy who they interviewed, luckily that guy kept himself pretty dark,
Hmm.
um, so as not to be completely identified. Um,
Right.
I don't know, did you see the article?
I'm looking right now. Mr. Explosive
Yeah,
admitted
they
a
employ
number of propaganda
like
videos are commissioned by the Iranian regime.
yes, and he did admit today or whenever they were writing the article, like for a
Oh,
while,
it was
like he
today, yeah.
yeah he was not admitting that he was necessarily commissioned.
Yeah.
Um, but he only the employee the he only has like 30 employees, so it's not like a large number of people that are
Yeah.
creating an AI combination musical Lego talk, rap, sing to
Hmm.
not necessarily not fully fact-based um
Right. Right, of course.
uh situation recount of the things that have recently happened.
Yeah. Which,
It's
by the
jumping
way,
on
I'm this particular article that I'm looking at in the Independent, um, now one of the accounts that creates the clips, Explosive Media, has spoken out about so-called, quote, slopaganda.
and that he was
2026 gets 2026 here.
yep, and that he basically was saying that Trump is right or isn't it is being truthful less than 13% of the time that he speaks ever.
Yeah.
And so why does he have to be correct either? And if he's giving voice to many things that are in, I guess he draws it as like adjacently correct or certain people view this to be true.
Yeah.
And this is the broad thing that could stop or make this hit public awareness to Americans, which are the only people that can change what's happening.
Yeah.
Because no other country without abject, large scale, horrific violence
Yeah.
can change anything at all. Not our friends, not our allies. We don't have those anymore. Um, they can't help. Even if we asked for help, they wouldn't, and they shouldn't because their political
Right.
future is over. Because what's done is done. Like we haven't even felt the effects of what's actually happened already. And I'm gonna
Right.
give us 3 months, 3 months. But yeah, so Hero doesn't
It's
have to
real
be right.
fucked.
And that I'm the songs like the song rap is kind of fire. The story
Um,
is kind of greatness.
I I hate AI slop with a passion, but I will say that
They did this correctly.
I fear they may have cooked with this one. I
What
know
videos are weird?
I know mm, s- quite a few people at this point who are like, I kind of love it. And I'm like, I honestly get it. I do because
One of those things where I like, I think I shared the first couple, but then I like all the
yeah,
rest of them. So I keep
yeah,
seeing them. But yeah, I can see like certain, a lot, like simplify a whole bunch of arguments. They make it, they take away every nuance. They flat scale
yeah,
it. They have to get through the argument. But the personal digs that they give on
yeah,
Hegseth, especially, but also on the
yeah,
corporate friends, buddies of,
yeah,
and political people that work for Trump, just like the grift,
yeah.
and then bring it up and simplifying historical facts. Gritty. It's gritty. It's gritty. It's raw. It's emotional.
Yeah,
It's like if I was 6 drinks in and wearing heels all day, hadn't eaten, kind of the thing I
yeah,
would say to a judge.
yeah. It's
Like a Republican judge, like me saying,
yeah,
hey, you know that cops hate pulling people over because they're afraid of getting shot because so many people have guns in Pennsylvania, right? They're afraid of getting killed on a traffic stop, right? So like maybe
yeah,
let everybody have them all the time, especially carry conceal. And like the judge just looks at me like, I'm like, I'm right.
yeah.
It's like that same argument. It's like, it feels right.
It's pretty insane.
Maybe slightly
And
be a little histrionic, a little dramatic.
yeah, like I had this conversation this weekend with a mutual friend Angela, who some will know as my co-host on the Sisters of the Night Caucus, uh, where she has deemed that 2026 is the struggles. That's what we're living through right now, the struggles.
What are we all struggling at the struggles though? Because
It's
is it like
various. It's everybody's struggling with something and likely multiple things, also just as a nation, and like also as a planet, um, the struggles. Um, that's 2026.
fair? I worry about us being like equally like despondent and depressed that we're struggles, or like how many people get mad and can't be spoken to after that.
I feel like at
I
this
worry.
point, and I had a conversation with my 79th district candidate, Caleb McCoy, who's gonna come on and talk. We're gonna schedule it.
We have to meet. I cannot wait.
He has listened, apparently. Um,
This seems good.
so yeah, but he's, had mentioned like identifying starting to feel numb to things again. And like
Oh,
he said, like I had gotten to this place in like towards the end of 2019, and then like 2020 just pissed me back off again. And he was like, but I just like am on the lookout for like that feeling of numbness because we can't fall into that.
especially somebody in the service. I mean, we have to
Mhm.
worry. Like I always personally do worry because I joke about weapons and
Right.
violence because dark humor.
Sure.
Um, but because it's a coping mechanism, but the more that I can, for one, like be clear about like I'm not committing violence, but like it is
Right.
I'm give like a cathartic verbal reality to other people to show them, frankly. Like I'm not cool about it. I'm fucking just as insanely pissed as they are.
Yeah.
And that it does make me lose my shit. And that part of it
Mhm.
is okay as long as
Yeah.
like it is like almost like if we're not channeling how they feel and giving them a reflection that someone is
Yeah.
doing something fighting really aggressively for them, whether it's
You got to do a
words.
controlled burn.
Yes. Yeah. And you have to be like, you have to be seen as local
Yeah.
leaders to be be the fucking dickhead on their behalf. Like that is the
Yeah.
role. And to show that you're talking and you're shooting up and you're
Yes.
telling up this is what the fuck they feel. I can talk to you when they can't. I'm
Yes.
gonna grab you and I'm gonna yell in your face. Uh
Right. Which,
and
yeah.
that when you can't sometimes win or you
Hmm.
can't sometimes get close enough to help that much, if that's all you can do, it's something better than nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh, and our candidates, being smart about how they listen and how they reflect it. And that the voters actually, because trust is a huge part of like the Dem deal here, um, and the brand is that like when they get in power, if we give you power, what are you going to actually do about it? Are you going to do another infrastructure bill that's going to take 8 years and that Trump's going to take credit for again, or like his kid, or
Hmm.
are you going to help us right now
Yeah.
so that you get the credit for fucking doing it, and it's something that is tangible that people can do right now and have like everybody can have and like rich people can't just like sit on
Hmm.
and states can't argue about because it's for everybody and
Yeah.
just blanket statement like that's it. Like I mean, like I'm certain out of our 500 nominees for president in 28, they'll all be a path to Medicare for all, or something that is single payer related.
Well, except
And if not,
unless Gavin Newsom is one of them, in which case, no.
I think he can even cave to the pressure. I think the
I don't,
pressure would be that
I
sick.
actually don't believe that.
Really?
I actually think that Gavin Newsom is the devil, and that frankly, if Gavin Newsom were the nominee, then we're headed directly into Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. Um,
Wow.
it gets
Wow.
real bad from there. He's a piece of shit, is the thing.
I don't. I mean, is he Swallow piece of shit?
Who? What?
Is he Eric Swallow piece of shit level? I'm good. Just
I
it was a
mean,
joke.
he may or may not have I don't think he sexually assaulted anybody that I'm aware of. By the way, Eric
Thing.
Swalwell, resign, bitch.
Yes. Yes.
Resign, you awful
Resign.
bitch. Fuck off.
Resign. Get out of the
Um,
fucking governor race. They're doing it to
yeah.
tank you on purpose, but
As far as I know,
also
he's not bad like that. He is having a birthday party at French Laundry during COVID bad. He is vetoing a bill on perimenopause and menopause education. Bad.
why?
Your guess is as good as mine, dude. Um,
Who does that serve?
Not a fucking clue. Not a fucking clue. But he did it. Um, yeah, he's just like he's every worst instinct that a Democrat has ever had. Like
I don't
from
disagree.
like, oh, my 13-year-old loves Charlie Kirk to which is why he did a podcast with him. Um,
Wasn't it like his third podcast ever?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was
Um,
like third one or like second one. Like he's like, I'm gonna do like a dem and then a R and then like,
yeah,
reach out to the other side. And it's like,
yeah.
you
And
could
I
do this
try,
better. You
and of
could.
course, very
You could.
obviously, the biggest reason for me on a personal level that I hate this man with the fire of 1,000 suns, um, is that one of his worst democratic instincts is throwing every fucking community under the bus out of
Yeah.
expediency. And his favorite is
But still
trans
no
people.
train. But still no train.
No.
No high speed rail. But
No high-speed rail,
if you're gonna throw
a
communities under the
bus.
bus, you should
Make
give
it
them a
at least make it
train
efficient. But
and
no.
domain that shit. If you're gonna already like
Hmm.
break down like the
Yeah.
gentrification and the backyards and the front yards,
Yeah.
the neighborhoods, you're already gonna do it because that's what that means is when you break down those communities.
Yeah.
Like if you're already gonna split them up, then
Yeah, you might as well put high-speed rail in the middle.
explain to me how as a slightly Ezra Kleinish, I as an ex-Republican
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
understand on on how and why regulation stands in the way of progress. Certainly, that's the reason why Western Pennsylvania doesn't have like high speed internet still.
Oh, I don't
Even though,
think regulation has shit to do with that.
well, I mean, as far as like the amount of time it takes, and then the money gets frozen, and then like whatever. But
At the end of
but
the
it's
day, all of that is always an excuse. How long has it been the way it is? By now,
way too long.
somebody could have done some shit about it if they had done some shit. But instead of doing some shit, they bitch about the regulations
Mhm.
and they never do the shit.
But
And it's like
but
during
if
all this time that you've been bitching, you could just have done the shit.
well, if they throw communities under the bus, you might as well throw communities under the bus for multiple things.
Well, he
And
might
then
as
like,
well. But in specific for me, it is he is he is actively damaging to trans people. And
yeah,
this is obviously a personal issue for me because of my
yeah.
daughter. But like the other thing is this is just like why would you ever cave to Republicans on an
on them
issue that affects less
person.
than 1% of the population. They are so fucking obsessed
Yeah.
with the genitals of less than 1% of the population. So obsessed, I might add, that like, and this has like real serious effects that people like don't think about. Like in Kansas right now,
I was
if
just gonna
you're
say Kansas.
trans, your
Yeah,
driver's license is no longer functional.
yeah,
They
you cannot.
passed a law that said that if you're trans and your driver's license does not show the sex that you were assigned at birth, then your
Mhm.
driver's license is no longer valid. And they didn't put like you have got this long to fix it.
One
No.
day, one day, I went
One
into
day. That bill
needed
passed. Next day, your driver's
next
license
day.
is gone.
And so if you needed your job to work or your driver's license to work, like to go to work to drive,
Yeah,
like everybody that works for me has to have a driver's license.
right.
And
Now,
if
no.
suddenly if anybody, if your insurance company knew that you went through a name
Yeah,
change, like anything, like your shit was on pause, you could not literally drive. And it was
right.
hopefully you had paid vacation to
It
take
affected
personally.
tens of thousands of people.
Tons of,
And
that's about
and
right,
like
yeah.
that's one of
No,
the
had to drive illegally.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people drove illegally because what were they
Right.
supposed to do?
What were they supposed to do? Go get documentation of their prior name and do a name
How were they
change
going to get it?
and get
Do they have
reissued.
high-speed rail in Kansas?
Do they have, I mean, Meadville doesn't have Uber. So do they have Uber
Right.
to go from their community to get
Yeah.
our driver's license centers open 3 days a week?
Hmm.
3.5 days a week. But like, when you gonna go? Like, do you have to go up to
Yeah.
Erie to get vital records? It's $40, and then are you gonna wait for it to get mailed to you?
Well,
Can you do it
and
on?
like God forbid
You're not getting paid.
you were like, let's say, right, you don't have your birth certificate on you.
Right.
I had to order a new copy of my daughter's birth certificate. My daughter was born in New York because at the time we lived in Rochester.
Oh, New
It
York's hard to
took,
New York's harder to get than us.
n no, but here's the thing. I've gotten a copy of her birth certificate from the state of New York while we lived in Pennsylvania before because I have ADHD and I lose things all the time. It
I
took
have lots
like
of copies of stuff.
a couple weeks, maybe. A couple
Mhm.
weeks. 180 days, Lindsay. 180 days.
Because everyone's trying to get them at the same time. Oh,
Which I also understand, but I understand, but at the same time, it's just like, gang, I just want you to print a piece of paper and put a stamp on it.
and how many people even have a printer?
Yeah, it's just like, come on, man. I just want you to print the paper and stamp it. I know that it's more complicated than that, but like, I just,
No, and I think that that was absolutely a dumb response for him, for sure to give. Like Gavin Newsom,
yes,
you should, as the pretty boy, California, like version of all the things,
yeah.
you should have been better than that answer
Well, but here's
ever.
the thing.
And
He's like
legislative.
if you look up corporate Democrat in a
Post,
dictionary, it's Gavin
post,
Newsom. It's a picture of Gavin Newsom.
I don't disagree. The only
Um,
thing I
yeah.
will on is that I can see why the general public would make him the choice because
Oh no, I can also see it.
historians say, and so do everyday people, and even though you and I both know that our governor is a micromanaging motherfucking boss, and micromanaging in a way that is expedient and necessary to run things to the level.
Would you say
Even
that he gets shit done?
no, no, it's fucking I don't want to say it because he says it, and we're gonna hear
I
a lot more of it.
know. We're
And
gonna
I'm and the world doesn't, frankly, the world doesn't hear it as much as we already hear it,
no.
but we're going to hear it. But that was my point about like the legislative things that he was able to do because,
Yeah.
like when the bridge got blown up by a truck,
Mm-hmm.
he was able to
Yeah.
use an emergency declaration, and
Yeah.
he knew who to call in the unions that were gonna give him
Mm-hmm.
maybe his maybe the Dems, but
Yeah.
maybe him personally, whatever he needed to do that he could do to
Hmm.
be effective as a leader, which simultaneously is also what New York has to do with Mom Donnie. Psst. Um, you have
Yeah.
to make them give them the things they need to be effective as leaders. If you
Yeah.
need them to succeed for the future of us, the brand, together, and have people gravitate to want to be that, you have to support them, not
Hmm.
just when they're running, but once they're elected. You don't
Hmm.
have to agree with them all the time. Yeah, don't. You don't. I've disagreed with things.
Oh no, listen. There are lots of
You have both.
politicians that I have and do support with whom I have disagreements.
And we don't
Um,
stand for Josh Shapiro, even though we do love him.
and like,
He's like the older cousin that you look up to, but then you go,
yeah,
"Wow, everyone loves him. Why can't they just love me too?"
right. But yeah, no, that is one, and this is one of the places where I believe, right, like when we are in a, and at this point for 2028, we're in very much in a pre-primary situation.
We are.
Um,
Like seven
when
people
we're in
already
a
said so.
pre-primary situation,
7 people already
I
said so.
get to hate Gavin Newsom
True.
with the fire of 1,000 suns. Um,
Paul,
period.
he's hot and he throws a good party
He's so gross looking.
though.
Ugh. I don't.
He's got a little bit of a Skeletor vibe as he's aging, but he's got the hair and he just makes Trump
uh,
look like a potato sack and
he looks like he attaches his hair like a Lego figure.
possibly, possibly, but he does it
It's
better.
possible.
It's better than Trump's.
I mean,
And
anything is better than Trump.
well, it's better
John
than
Belushi is better than Trump.
is
I
he?
mean, John
Oh,
Belushi's dead.
right.
Even dead John Belushi is better than Trump,
So so my thoughts are people like the hype,
looks wise.
and people like the hype, and that he lets his social media do what
No,
social
he
media
does. He
needs
does.
to do.
Yeah.
And but being an
Yeah.
effective and like very smart,
Here's here's
astute
how I want you
government.
to think about Gavin Newsom for a minute, though.
Mhm.
Do
He's
you
like a
remember?
he's like a bad ex-boyfriend that like
No, no,
you
no. Wait.
with, but
You're gonna
like,
get this instantly.
oh no.
Do you remember listening to people from out of Pennsylvania talk about John Fetterman when we knew
Mm.
what John Fetterman was like?
I was a Connor fan at the
I know that
time,
you were. But
and
here's
when
the
I was
thing.
talking every time.
When you heard people from outside of Pennsylvania get in wild for John Fetterman, and you knew that they just didn't know.
They
They weren't here and they weren't listening and they didn't know.
they weren't
Um,
listening when it mattered, when his viewpoints were out there, and when he was shitty, when he was before he was running for Senate.
that's Gavin Newsom.
Ugh. I mean, I see it. I get
Yeah.
it. I'm saying that, but the rest of the world might not get it. But,
No, I know. I'm fully aware of this fact.
but,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, listen, Katie literally made me cry the other night. Um, not on purpose. She didn't do it on purpose. Um, it's just that we were drinking and she insisted strongly that Gavin Newsom was gonna win the primary in 2028. And I was like, that's we don't know. Who knows what the fuck is gonna happen, dude? Um,
right, right. And we'll see.
like
Because are we
we're
still
blockading the Strait of Hormuz now.
oh yeah, are we we might be the Japan and Germany of World War III. The bad guy.
Who
Like,
knows? Both
that's
at the same time, by the way. Both at the
like,
same
oh,
time.
we're over here being like this. And but Gavin does throw
We're
a
too
fun
big to be just Japan or just Germany.
crew.
We're
We are
both.
like we're all of them. Mm.
America always doing the very most.
The very most. But yeah, like, but that was one
Yeah.
thing that like my kid was like, what remember like for America's like birthday, and there was those like cranky and then on purpose janky soldiers that were walking, and then
Yeah.
but then California had its birthday, its 180th birthday, and it played all the rap and all the fun, and it was a house party. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's great vibes. Those were the vibes we needed at the time because that was like the only fun,
Yes.
mocking one we could find. And I think that
Yeah.
going out over his skis a little bit and letting his social media team actually do shit, it
Yeah.
should taught that should have taught us all. But we can absolutely do better than
We should do
Gavin.
better.
But
Um,
we
yeah.
have to we have to do that. And that means we have to like
Yeah, we do have to
like,
do that, and that's like, but
are
there's
you and
so
I gonna have
much
to move?
I don't know. I can't do it. I can't.
But are you gonna have to move
Um,
for either this
I have
year
just
or
grown as
next
a
year
person
and
to the point that
after?
like I can deal with that like I can appreciate the differences of other states. I can't live in one. I can't do it.
I mean, but could you move into another one to just like stump for Josh?
Oh,
Like, take a
yes.
temporary leave? Like I'm over here
Oh,
like
sure.
don't I mean like I like South Carolina. Aren't they first with Michigan again?
I don't know, but if I could just not go anywhere that would be that hot, um, I don't deal well with heat. Like
Yeah.
you want to send me north. You want to send me north anywhere in the northern part of the United States I
Yeah,
can deal
I'll take
with.
I'm for 6 weeks stump for Josh.
And like again, and I do just want to say this for the record, it's not that I dislike the South like on principle or anything. People do. I don't. That's not my problem. My issue is that genuinely I melt when it's over 75 degrees.
Aren't we
I will turn
menopausal?
into a puddle.
Perimenopausal? Like we can't handle it.
Oh
We
yeah,
need
no.
to
I am fully perimenopausal, and even before I was perimenopausal, I never did well in the heat. So I just like you can't I can't do that.
but I'm willing to
Um
take a leave of absence first primary state and do my
yeah.
best.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's the thing, like we gotta kill it against singularity. But it seems like we're 10 to 1
Yeah.
money wise, which is nice.
Speaking of Shapiro, by the way, Linda McMahon, who I feel like dropped off the map for a while, right? Because like for a while it was all about like we're gonna blow up the Department of Education. And that
Then
kind
she
of went by the
couldn't
wayside.
then she couldn't totally blow it up. She just
She couldn't totally
okay,
blow it up.
get better.
Um, and then she recently um joined Scott Perry and a group of Republican lawmakers in Harrisburg to advocate for the Commonwealth's participation in a federal school choice program. Um, which number one, fuck you.
True.
Education is left to the states. There is a Department of Education. We have some federal standards. I understand that, but like, girl, we all pay school taxes for a fucking
Uh,
reason, and it's not for you to come in here and tell us how to do shit. Um, But yeah, so for far too long, many Americans have been shackled to inadequate and failing schools where students fail to reach basic proficiency marks. McMahon said at a Capitol press conference, whatever, and she encouraged Josh Shapiro to join this program. And to that, I say, fund public schools. You have been siphoning money away from public schools to send people to charter schools that have little to no oversight, that spend tens of millions of dollars a year on marketing,
at least.
at
And
least.
and I mean,
Why do you think?
we already have kind of that in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Because, in all fairness, I am one of the biggest pro public education people
Mhm.
that you would run into in my community.
Yeah.
But also, my kid doesn't go to a public school. And I understand that that
Yeah.
is not me living the values. However, I have one child and I
Yeah.
can't fix or help fix politically the system in which that is broken, in which my child and his
Yeah,
early education has to live in. All I can do is advocate to make sure that in 4 or 5 or 10 years, the next family that can afford to pull their kid out doesn't feel like they have to.
right.
And that's the thing that people don't get when I'm like over here like, yo, I still pay my property
Yeah,
taxes. But
absolutely.
but I also resent, and I've actually told my husband multiple times, I'm like, I know we get $1,000 off if we fill out this like form for the school.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason why they want to give us a fake discount because it's not a real discount. Because they want to capture the information so that they can apply for the tax credit to get more money. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I would rather pay the extra 1,000 and make them just bark at other people because frankly, we are not ever going to be the recipients of an income-based scholarship of any kind or a
right.
Catholic-based because we're not Catholic.
Right.
We will never receive either of those for any
Yeah.
reason, and even if we could, we would not accept it because we
Yeah.
financially don't need to. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like that's I know the system exists already in so much that parents are
Yeah.
given some things in the state of Pennsylvania if they do pull their children from public school. And I don't believe in incentivizing it. I think that
No.
it just frankly flat out makes the system worse. And every time that I look at it like this, like in a classroom, it's like, what do you do if there's a classroom and matriculation is shrinking and some parents are pulling their kids out to homeschool,
Mm-hmm.
but like and then some parents are pulling them out that can afford to do so to pay
Mm-hmm.
for private. So what's left?
Right.
And then when they shrink the schools because there's less people going to them, then you've got more concentrated children that don't have the mitigating influence of like frankly other kids to and also for the teachers that can't make a classroom have the ebbs and flows and the sizes that it
Yeah.
normally would have that helps actually normalize the behavior of the kids that are experiencing neglect and poverty and
Mm-hmm.
everything outside
Yeah.
of school. They don't have that normalizing influence because now all of a sudden more percent of the kids when they're there are a hot mess towards and with the other kids.
Well, and here's the thing
And
is
it's
that
not
these charter
because
schools create this situation because they don't have to take everybody.
right. And they can
They get to pick.
always decide tomorrow that John can't go there anymore because
Right.
he's not a Catholic.
And
Aggressively not a Catholic.
so like that's difficult. Well, here's the other thing about this program that she's like bitching about our dear governor not opting into is
And he didn't even outright say no. He just said,
no,
I need to see who works with
the
the current
Shapiro
stuff.
administration is awaiting federal guidance to address key questions about how this problem would work, including which students will be eligible, how this federal initiative will interact with existing programs, and more. They
AKA,
haven't even outlined how the program works.
right. So why aren't you signing on to it, Josh? Well, because I don't know what
Oh,
it
well,
is.
because I don't even know what the fucking program is.
Because I don't know what the fuck it is. That's the baseline. Not
Yeah,
only like do I want to do something philosophically with it, but you haven't
right.
told me what it is. Which,
Yeah.
frankly, no governor should sign on to anything. They don't know what the fuck it is. Unless you just want to
Mhm.
cede your authority, I guess.
Right. And it's unless you're a bootlicking sycophant, yeah, no, you're not going to jump directly into that. Very clearly, Josh Shapiro has as do
He's
we,
held his shit
has
back.
disagreements with the Trump administration.
Oh yeah. And he wins against them legally and he knows, and that's the thing. Like sometimes everybody is
Yeah.
like, I want him to draw fire on this and this. I'm like, bitch. He needs to hold his water until he needs to use it. Can we
Yeah.
just accept the fact that he's the wall between the federal government and like what happens to you as a person. And we need him to use
Yeah.
his stuff when and
Yeah.
however he can and not just waste it.
And by the way, like, we know like in Pennsylvania, right, obviously that Josh Shapiro has taken fire on the charter school issue before.
Right. By us.
Because by us, because he's been a
Specifically,
proponent
when
of
we said we like disagreed with him, like we meant like
we weren't fucking around. We were not kidding.
act
Um,
literally. Yeah.
and the advocacy space, not to speak of many, 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 just like rank and file Democrats were like, "Oh hell no,"
Mhm.
and he backed down.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
it's a fight that we kind of have to a little bit keep fighting, but
And I understood his perspective too. I mean, like, because he had a lived
yeah,
experience raising
right,
kids in a very expensive place when he was a public servant.
yeah,
He still does. I mean, and he
very
gets the public credit.
expensive
He could
religious schools.
any law firm in the fucking world, and
Yeah.
he has more than one child, and he
Hmm.
was paying, and that it is an insane amount of money
Yeah.
to pay.
But
And so
also,
I
guess
understand his
what?
lived
That's your
experience.
decision.
Correct. It sure is. And if you were saddled with a full payment, it was your choice to pull them.
Yeah.
And so you get full choice pay.
Like, I absolutely do not begrudge if you want to send your kids to whatever religious school of choice, whatever, I don't care. That's fine. You get to do that. You don't get to take my fucking tax dollars to do it.
Correct. Facts.
Um, Absolutely not.
And urban and rural feel the same on this, which is something
Hmm.
the weird also horseshoe of like urban and
Yeah.
rural that like suburbia does
Yeah.
not feel, but like when your
Hmm.
pay and everything else for your teachers and your raises are stuck somewhere where like the property taxes are impossible
Yeah.
um to get revenue from to upgrade your schools well and pay teachers properly.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
know,
It's the rural and urban areas that get screwed the hardest
right. And
by
in
these things.
especially rural areas, people don't even understand how many of most of their middle class incomes are tied to the public school system.
Hmm.
And without that money, we wouldn't have
The
homeowners.
local economy collapses.
And we are, frankly, at this point, subsidized a portion of rural communities are subsidized by suburbia.
Yeah.
But we could all argue that we should maybe be somewhat subsidized more.
Mm, real.
I'm just
Um, yeah.
2 to 1.
Uh, so listen, sh let's take a very brief, we have two, oops, excuse me. We have two things left.
A pre-K pause. You can take a pre-K pause. A walking stretch.
Uh, Hassan Piker.
So excited.
Um, and then we'll preview a thing we're doing next weekend, and then we'll close it out. So I'm gonna admit something right now,
Mhm.
which is that I have always found Hassan Piker to be somewhat off-putting. I don't
Right.
like necessarily hate him or anything. It's just not my vibe, right?
Mhm.
So I don't really pay attention. But what I do know is that people in particular in Pennsylvania recently were angry or are angry that Summer Lee is doing a thing with the Piker. That's all I got.
I am, as I'm gonna total it again, an ex-Republican.
Do
I
it.
have I have found that
Hmm.
there is nobody that we can afford to not talk to,
Yeah.
and his people that he
Hmm.
speaks to is a very significant cross section.
Oh, I absolutely agree with. It's just not my vibe. That's why I don't know much about it. But like, yes.
Yeah, so there was and there are other ex-Republicans that are female. For
Hmm.
instance, The Bulwark, which is one of my favorite actually production companies,
Hmm.
It is very varied. But they are all generally ex-Republicans that
Hmm.
are trying to get Democrats elected, which funny.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. Um, but but they have very specific like differences of opinion and they argue about it.
Yeah.
And there was recently one where Sarah Longwell, who is a she historically very much had backed, and worked for think tanks and stuff and electoral. Um, and she's writing a book. And
Mm.
I do appreciate the book's name, which is like How to Eat uh like Republicans one voter at a time, I believe.
Sure, sure.
Um, but it's basically how to speak to it because she does one of the biggest things that she does in her paid sphere isn't just being the publisher of the Bulwark, but also
Hmm.
the she does the what is it? When you sit down and oh shit, what the fuck is it called? I'm brain farting right now. She does hardcore focus groups
Okay, I gotcha.
over
All right.
over time, like very, very like scientific back research and like go back and find them X number of years later. Like
Hmm.
they know for a fact if they're double or triple Trump voters, if they
Yeah.
are independents registered and like where they live. And they're like longitudinal almost like but in-person interview studies. And they do
Mm.
publish some of the things that they say, just the audio, um, on like sometimes weekly, sometimes bi-weekly podcasts where they'll bring an expert on the topic that they bring up and then they
Mm.
talk about what the voters have said
Yeah.
directly. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate her viewpoint as a not direct partisan. So I'm not
Right.
even sure I think she might be registered independent, but she lives in Virginia. So
Gotcha.
not as a direct partisan, but she is very much like a don't go on his show, don't support Hassan Piker. And
Hmm.
then she was fighting with Tim Miller, who is like the star-ish of um the podcast, but he used to work for Jeb Bush when Jeb Bush lost to Trump. And he was one of the initiators of like Republicans against Trump, actually. But he's been anti-Trump from the jump, which I didn't even find out about him until like a couple of years ago. But these are people that were comms, RNC stuff, and they are very anti-Trump, and they always have been. And so they were arguing about it, and Tim was very much like, "I don't agree with everything Hassan says,
Hmm.
but I think we should talk to everybody, and I think you're full of shit if we don't talk to everybody because they have
Hmm.
specific audiences." I not only 100% agree with Tim on the basis of that, but if you look at the reason why people are mad
Hmm.
at Hassan Piker, is they're very specifically cherry-picked quotes. This guy is fucking on Twitch for 18 hours a day.
Hmm.
He's like, or 12, like 5 days a week, sometimes
Yeah.
six. You say you have to be engaging and you're reading like comments at the same time as live Twitch streaming
Hmm.
and dealing with news as it's coming in, and you're also an asshole. You're gonna say what the fuck you say. And you're gonna go off on some hot take expresses. And the comments that were brought when people that were worried about Michigan and the Senate race there
Hmm.
had pre-couched lists of things that Hassan has said in the last like 3 years. And it was varied and it was America deserved 9/11. It was
Mm.
like a whole bunch of hot shit. But it was like a list of like 10 or 11 things. But if you're online that much, where everything you say is fucking public,
Hmm.
you're going to say a whole bunch of shit when you're impassioned, regardless. And also, you're going to have some bad opinions and hot takes, and you can
Yeah,
take
sure,
it
of
back.
course.
And you can be wrong. And then also, you can
Hmm.
say later you're wrong. And just because you said something one time does not mean that that is like the entire philosophy in which you live your life or agree with. And
Hmm.
it wasn't just her argument with Tim that I saw. I saw 5, 6, 7, 10 other creators using
Hmm.
that same list the same list to attack
Hmm.
Hassan. Not like that, not one of those things was varied. And I was like, you know what? If I didn't already know that Hassan Piker had better opinions than that, it's the fact that those motherfuckers copy and pasted their complaints.
Hmm.
That is the thing that if you really politically consume media, if you really do, if
Yeah.
they're saying his same fucking 10 quotes, and
That's not accidental, fam.
that's not accidental. That is a
Yeah.
hit. That is a hit. That is a paid hit, as a matter of fact. And if
Well,
you,
for sure.
as a creator, get pulled out by a paid hit and you get suckered, you should say so.
Hmm.
Other creators don't get suckered, frankly, but she got suckered, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and because everybody else followed suit.
Hmm.
And maybe it was because they got great views on the video and they fought amongst themselves. Maybe. But they didn't care
Yeah.
about his opinion more than that. And then he had a pre-scheduled John Favreau of the Pod Save, pre-scheduled a month ago. And he did that and it aired today. And I think that
Yeah.
they interviewed and they went in depth on
Hmm.
like his reasons and his context for saying what he said and how he felt historically about Palestine and its
Hmm.
viewpoint. And I have a secret to share just because.
Ooh.
It is not a secret because I've said it publicly a bunch of times, but I can just
Hmm.
say it like right here.
Yeah.
So when I was a Republican, one of my senior projects when I was at Mercyhurst and I was doing intelligence studies, I was
Hmm.
one of the co-leaders of a group of like 8 of us. And we did a three-way red team for the 66th Military Intelligence in
Hmm.
Germany. This was in the year 2009, I believe.
Mm.
And we had, I think it was like, I think it was, there wasn't 12 of us, but it was roughly like, it was more than eight. But
Hmm.
we three-way spread it where two of us that were Israel, two of us were Hamas, and two of us
Hmm.
were technically West Bank.
Okay.
And we did a three-way red team, and we were going to basically Israel versus Hamas versus like West Bank Palestine, like legitimate what was it, Palestinian Authority at the time. And the 66 military intelligence question was, what are the implications and the percent chance that a two-way solution succeeds? And
Hmm.
for our presentation, we said we submit that the question is irrelevant because the question isn't a real question. The
Mm.
Right. No, because we had two of us versus I think three of us, maybe versus four of us were red teaming each other.
Hmm.
Doing we were putting ourselves in the space historically as if we were that person. We put their hat on. And
Right.
we said that the current status quo situation, which is West Bank Palestinian Authority, has mitigated and almost zero authority near Jerusalem. Jerusalem's a hot button question.
Hmm.
Hamas is irrelevant, propped up terrorist organization that is the jailers of an open air prison. And
Hmm.
the beneficiaries of both of those things is Israel. And that the perpetuation of having no two-state solution is to the ultimate success of Israel because that is the status quo is the best that can be done to maintain its democracy
Right.
is to is to segment and break apart and keep factionally fighting
Hmm.
people amongst themselves so that they can maintain their homogeny and like grow their settlements with as little blowback consolidated behind them as possible. And that was like not partisan, that was not feelings. That
Right.
was the intelligence assessment that we gave, and we called literally Gaza an open air prison.
Yeah.
And we
Which, by the
specifically,
way, it is.
by the way, it is. And it was because your decision maker of the consumer of the intelligence, the person who tells you you can go figure out that question,
Hmm.
they have a question and you answer it. And whether they want to abide by the right thing to do or your suggestions, that's not your place. That's not politically your job. Your job isn't politics. Your job is to tell them actually what it is.
Yeah.
And everything that's between what it actually is and you give them the reality, and like the political person's job, that's their
Hmm.
choice to inform up. So think about it like FBI, CIA, all the way, all the alphabet soup. Like the people that work there, they're told what to do. Politicians decide how to use it or not. And
Hmm.
so we that was the reality. That was the assessment. It's a three-state solution or two states and an open air prison in perpetuity so long as Israel could keep it going. It was never a two-state solution answer. That was because the minute that you involve two people in that state, it ceases to be a Jewish state because the Palestinians outnumber the Jews.
Yeah.
And so it's not a Jewish state anymore. It's just a state that can change. And so that's when they talk about like forever, like what is like the ultimate like destruction of the Jewish state or whatever, because it wouldn't be Jewish anymore. Because other
Yeah.
people would have rights and they wouldn't be the majority. And that's a math problem. That's a math question. It's not a fucking like your feelings question. Doesn't matter which side you're on. Like that's just the math and the geography.
Right.
And I'm like, in that sense, like people were shitting on Hassan, but I was like, yeah, no. Hamas got elected and then they threw everybody that went up against them in the election when Bush was in charge off buildings. And we all watched it on national television when they died.
Yeah.
So those people were prisoners, and those people grew up as prisoners, and so those people are still prisoners. And if you're always a prisoner, maybe you try to get out. I don't know. Like
Hmm.
there's a whole bunch of rational things that we all would choose to do that the people that live there did not choose to do.
Hmm.
And that's bad. The things they did were very bad. But if we're thinking about it like rational actors, so like to not want to go on and talk to Hassan to talk about like working class issues because you were afraid that he's the boogeyman for Democrats, for like the
Yeah.
fact that his biggest viewers are younger and angrier and more online, and to not get an opportunity, disagree with him or not, about his feelings and be ready for some facts because he's gonna have them. Um, that's the kind of pushback that you need to fucking talk to somebody and say so that you can maybe, I don't know, convince some people that you're not the boogeyman so that they vote for you instead of like decide
Yeah.
when guillotines come down, like you're one of them. Like that's facetious. That's a little bit extra that I said on the end there, but in
Hmm.
reality, like, this is how you talk to people, and you should be able to like accept really difficult questions if you're gonna choose to be a leader of us all. You better
Yeah.
fucking be able to answer some of these questions and like
It, yeah.
where you're gonna
No, I
fall
mean,
on it.
I think this is a really important point, and I think that we do need to be able to answer better questions. And by the way, like, I don't,
We all
okay,
have to
so
talk to people that we don't agree
as,
with.
right, I mean, like, listen, as previously described, I'm not stupid familiar with him. Um, I like come across him on TikTok. He just comes across my timeline sometimes. Um, that's kind of it.
I put myself
Uh,
in like his 15-minute clippies. I more like
yeah.
see the evolving show of those on like YouTube instead,
Mm,
rather than like so I don't see it in like 30-second format. I see it in like 15-minute, 30-minute, chunks.
Hmm.
I don't ever watch like the stream or anything. That's crazy because he's on way
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I just
I don't think we should write off talking to anybody,
I
even if
don't
we
think we
have
should
to.
write off talking to people unless they're like kind of a literal Nazi.
If you know when you're going on there,
Yeah.
you have no way to have footing to push back, and they're never going to air your pushback, and you're going to look really bad, and you're going to tarnish the whole fucking all of us.
Hmm.
Don't do it. If you think you're not going to be able to have a confident or at least heartfelt and honest answer, because like some of the shit that they do is long like this. So if you're not
Yeah.
ready to sit down and like give unrehearsed answers and know your shit, you you might need to stay behind the paywall a little bit. Mm.
Yeah.
But if you've got something to say, that's the only way that you can actually get a chance to view like longer form, get your authentic shit out there.
Yeah.
And actually choose sometimes what your topic is that you're going to talk about because a lot of times these interviews are rough, like really the interviews that our candidates sit for are so shitty. They're boring.
Yeah. Um
And they let
that
the candidates fall into the hole of like, I'm going to say the same thing over and over again.
yeah. And so yeah, it's just like it's I don't know, it's a lot and I think that the other thing is this if you feel that his voice is not worth hearing, it's also not worth commenting on.
Right. Except for that he's more famous and that it'll help you get you clicks.
Because the thing, right, like the yeah, I mean just like when you make a whole thing out of it, it just gives him more air.
Yeah. And if you hate everything,
So,
then don't,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
unless
I
you're
but
using it
yeah.
for that money.
Yeah. This
They're
is
commenting
yeah.
on it because media makes the money because he's famous enough to get you money because you're commenting on something that's a hot take.
Hmm.
It's not value added to your audience.
No.
The John,
Uh
I would
mhm.
recommend that everybody listen to the John Favreau Hassan longer form because they do sh like their own viewpoints, which are obviously not the same, but they
Sure.
do a lot of they're very parallel. They're not in the same spot, but
Gotcha.
they're very like, okay, well, here's how I don't agree with you, but here's where you are, but here's back where I agree with you again, and then here,
Hmm.
what do you mean by that? Okay, well, so yes, and that it's very much more similar than you would think, as long as you weren't listening for like a single quote in like the last 10 years to cherry
Hmm.
pick and listen to like the background of it. You can say, oh, maybe I'm more conflicted on this issue than I thought I was. Because I guess I might agree with some of this. Maybe I don't fully agree that that's what I would back up. For instance, like
Hmm.
myself, I would have a whole bunch of disagreements on a whole bunch of shit that Hassan Piker has said, and but I'm like, he could invite me on anytime. I would probably take a whole bunch of knocks, but I would be willing to answer a whole bunch of shit. Probably too much because I just
I,
have zero
yeah. I mean it'd be
zero.
like that. Um
But yeah, so I think it's great. I think it's great. I think we should always, in rural communities, we lose if we don't talk to everybody.
right, to which end we'll wrap up with Lindsay and I are going to be doing a training in Lancaster next weekend. And it's very, very specifically for the Lancaster Dems. But don't worry, I think that I'm sure that if it goes well, that we would probably be more than happy to do it in other places for other people.
Yeah,
Um, and maybe even try to do like a version that we can stream or whatever. But we are
it'll
going
be
to be talking about
fun.
let me look at our agenda. So we're going to be talking about understanding your biases. We're going to have some possibly difficult conversations about how we all think about groups that are different than us,
Mhm.
or that we don't belong in,
Or how we think that they think about us.
or how we think that they think about us, which is important. Um,
Because sometimes we're wrong.
that's part of the biases too. How to be an organizer. Really, really, really. We're going to talk about unscripted conversations. And we're going to talk
And
about
how to do a podcast with Jillian and I, because we are just like,
it's yeah, that is the art of unscripted conversations. Um, it's that's yeah. But yeah, we're gonna have some stuff about Lindsay to talk about the work that they've done in Meadville and the long-term planning that took. Um, we're gonna talk a little bit about I'm gonna talk a little bit about our friend Val Pock and her amazing volunteer work that her committee has been doing and why that's important. Um,
that's sort of
but
lock
yeah,
and key because it's power building and then power maintaining.
that's right. Um, and so it's gonna be, I think it's really cool. I look forward to it. And yeah. So with that, hey, the primary's coming up, so hopefully you get involved with a candidate or two or four or five.
Ooh,
Um, ooh,
ooh. Side
ooh,
note, side
side
note,
note.
because we didn't have a candidate, because we had a
Mm,
candidate fail to file.
right. You
A
have a
couple.
write-in.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we sure do. And so Sue Mulvey ran against Michelle Brooks. What was it? Was it 2018?
Something like that. Yeah, no, I do remember.
Yeah, I mean it might have been 2016, but I think it was 2018, maybe. Um, but she ran and you know, it's one of those things where for one, no race can go uncontested. But for
Hmm.
two, Sue Mulvey, absolutely. She is a I believe it's Northwest PSEA. I think she's their secretary. Like,
Sweet. Love it.
yeah, yes. And so, and she's lived. I think she lives right on the edge of Mercer Crawford. It's like right,
Oh, okay.
like right there. And but she works for the Crawford Central School District,
Nice.
and she is very firmly in the back, like backs up organized labor, teachers, school districts, and being
Hmm.
rural local, obviously. But also she has come to an even more like aggressive forefront of like, for one, who knows what could happen. This is I know she knows how to be a campaigner.
Yeah.
Um, and we had someone who wanted to run that failed to file. And we need 500 write-ins. We'd love 1,000 from all of
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
counties. So this is all of Crawford, all of Lawrence, or all of Mercer, and most everything except for that last strip of townships at the bottom of
Hmm.
Lawrence. And that's for the state rep seat, District 50. And she is getting kind of like my text to chat word vomit of all the things that the state rep Dems have been able to pass. And
Yeah.
there's what, 30 different bills plus of why we can't have nice things, and it's because of the state senate.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
writing her in for state
yeah.
senate 50
Yes.
gonna do. And we're doing personal texts plus large scale group texts, and like in our big hubs
Hmm.
some GOTV to make sure that she gets those 500 signatures. But it's my understanding that Crawford might be getting mailed their ballots tomorrow. So we are
Sweet.
to copy paste and to
Hell
like
yeah.
just Crawford alone, 2,000 plus Democrats. So we're trying to reach
Nice.
out and give them from our personal cell phones, but
Hmm.
then also text everybody like a copy of the ballot and who they're supposed to vote for and why it's important to write in. And, we're helping her get her social media presence going because she just decided to let us make her do this like 2 weeks ago. So,
I love it.
hey, we
Um,
we can't have we can't have fucking empty ballots, guys, like for the
And
generals.
listen,
Like,
speaking of not being able to have empty ballots, it's committee reorganization year. So
that's right.
if you want to run for Democratic committee and you didn't get to file during the petitions, um, now rules vary. Um,
County to
so for
county.
example, in Cambria County, their bylaws say that you must get 10 write-ins.
Mine does as well.
Yeah, ours does not specify that, so you just have to get the most write-in. You have to get the most votes. You just have to get the most votes. Um, but so, aim for sure for more than 10 write-ins.
Hmm.
But like if you're interested, you should talk to your county party, um, and see, who has filed and whether there's maybe nobody running in your precinct.
Yeah. And if you
Depending on
have
your
a
county, there
possible
may,
sample
may well be no
ballot,
one.
yeah, and if you have a possible ballot available, like look on your county website, like they
Hmm.
could have them published there. If not,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
should message the you know, the county Facebook page because I think we all have Facebook pages, maybe. But
Most all of us, yes. And if you're having trouble finding stuff, you can always message the rural Dems,
Mhm.
and we're very, very happy to help you,
Mm.
um,
And
and
that way
make
the county committee
introductions.
can say before you even get a ballot, like whether or not someone's already on it. Because if it's
Yeah,
nobody's on it, it's pretty easy to be like, hey, can I get like a list of people in my neighborhood that could all write my name down? And
yeah,
we will give it to you.
we will give it to you
Without
because
stars and asterisks and be like, dear God, please get me
stars and
10 people.
asterisks. Results may
Get
vary
anyone.
by county.
Correct.
Um, but yeah, no, listen. You Everybody wishes their county had more committee people, so
Oh,
think about it.
filled up.
Yeah.
And I think that the
And
only thing that's
yeah.
ever really filled up is like the really populated, really areas. I think
Well,
people,
also Bedford. Bedford County has zero precinct vacancies
that's why.
because Valerie Pock is a machine made of stardust
She
and
seems
rainbow
like a
sprinkles.
very, very, great aunt mother.
Yes.
Like she is like has the magic wand for that, and she's so
She's
soft,
so good.
nice spoken.
She
She's
is.
got that
She's
breathy,
great.
got that breathy, but like I'm still telling you what to do voice,
Yes.
but like without
Yes.
like crushing you.
She's so good.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
I don't
listen.
have that.
Anybody that knows Valpoc that isn't a Valpoc stan, I gotta be very public about the fact I don't trust that. I don't trust it.
She's
Um,
she's super nice. She's just as
how
nice
do
as
you
she
not?
seems to be. Like there's a seems to be, and then there's the be, and she's both.
She is exactly as she seems to be.
Mhm. Which is why everybody shows up for her now that she's like
Yeah.
in charge and she's asking is because she is exactly who she seems to be.
Yeah.
Also happens when you're eating.
Yes. No, listen. You get what you see with both of us, which is why we certainly love that about her. Um,
Oh,
we're different. We're very different, but also what you see is what you get.
back.
Yeah.
I
Um,
love you.
all right, gang. Well, this has been fun. Thank you so much. I have been Jillian,
I have been Lindsay.
and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Blue Sky, PA Dems, Rural Caucus, listen on Spotify and more, and like and subscribe and all that jazz.
And I'll work on
All
some
right.
YouTube shorts for it.
Yeah. Woo.